inventions, however conceptually correct, will not succeed unless the time is ripe.
Born in 1905, Semi Joseph Begun grew up in an era when electronics technology had yet to capture the public's imagination. Yet it took firm hold of him at a young age. Later, an engineering student in Berlin, Germany, he worked in the field of magnetic recording.
Magnetic recording was invented before the turn of the century, but the technology was kind of immature. There was no electronic amplification, for example, so the loudest sound you could hear was as loud as a telephone. Begun worked on recorders that used either steel tape or steel wire, which was the medium that every other inventor in this field had used.
With his PhD in hand at the age of 27, Begun had already come up with ways to improve the sound quality of recordings and make the speed of the recorder more constant. When Nazi propagandists started to monopolize the day's technology to promote their agenda, Begun came to America. Here, as part of a talented team at the Brush Development Company in Ohio, he could now focus on new designs and new markets for the magnetic tape recorder.
These little microphone elements that they manufactured could be made very cheaply, and they were quite sensitive. They made pretty good microphones. The real breakthrough was the military flight voice recorders in airplanes, sort of a precursor to the black box that we have today. A compact wire recorder used to record all the radio messages spoken by the pilots so that later on sort of see where you made your mistakes. And that was a big deal.
And when President Truman's announcement came at 7 o'clock...
This was the first time anybody had been able to sell a magnetic recording device in the United States.
The coming of television so unexpectedly created a new demand for tape recorders, since all of the radio networks were left scrambling for ways to improve their productions. But the steel tape then used in recorders left much to be desired.
Steel tape was very heavy, and the tape itself was very expensive. Editing was difficult, but it also made an audible sound at the splice, which nobody wanted to hear. Begun saw the obstacles to marketing these things and made a lot of smart moves. He started working on a new kind of recording medium, one that used a strip of paper. Later on he used a strip of plastic, coated with a very fine powder of iron oxide that was magnetizable, the same way a piece of solid steel or solid wire would be. The tape itself was not only cheaper, but because it was so much lighter, the machine could be made smaller and more compact, and it was less expensive to make the machine. Once people realized they could do editing very easily with a pair of scissors and some adhesive tape, it was cutting-edge stuff.
Begun's lifetime of innovations had not only made a better product of the magnetic tape recorder, but also introduced general technological designs which would set the precedent for things like answering machines and floppy disks today.
A lot of what he did set the tone for a lot of what happened afterwards. He had a good handle on where this technology was going to go.
As in so many instances, success of a person is not necessarily based on his intelligence and capabilities, but also on lucky circumstances. And I was the beneficiary of these lucky circumstances. Period.